moving on to the college level. I know that's always been your dream, and I know you have some irons in the fire to aspire even higher as you progress in your career, and I wish you the very best. Billy, Mike Evans, I think, is going to be a good fit for Norristown kids and Norristown program. And I know it hasn't been officially, I think, announced by the school board, but that's generally a rubber stamp. And I know that coach is already getting kids involved, conditioning and things like that, like every other school in District 1 in the state of Pennsylvania all over. Basketball doesn't start in November. You have to get the kids conditioned. And I know Mike is out there, and hopefully knowing he's taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. Well, third down situation for Wissahickon. This is a chance for Norristown to really back Wissahickon up and get some good field position.
Stout straight back on the drop, being chased, finds a pocket straight ahead, but I don't think he's going to get too far. Taken down by, I believe that's number 32, Jason Thompson, along with number 56, Sean Vanalinda, and number 45 for Norristown, that's Jay Arthur. So good pursuit by the Norristown defense will bring up a fourth down and a punting situation for the Trojans.
And that's exactly what Wissahickon does not want to do, is go 3 and out against Norristown, give them the football back, especially after their last possession when James Jacob was able to scat for 60-some yards for
Billy,
a touchdown.
Not to interrupt you, but I see it perhaps could be a very, very serious development there on the negative side for the Trojans, as number 3, all-everything quarterback Billy Stout, who's primarily responsible for the Trojans to have the lead at this time, is down on the field. And as I mentioned earlier, he's been hurt, battling a bad ankle. And you know, you hurt an ankle in football, it doesn't get better. It just don't get better. There's nothing in football that you could do that's going to help you get over an ankle injury except rest and inactivity, and they tape it up and treat it. But obviously he was limping last week, putting the Norristown coaches who scouted Wissahickon, and as the game progresses, if he's fighting a bad ankle, unfortunately it's going to be bad for the Trojans.
Yeah, that could spell disaster. And I wondered on that play, Tom, when I saw him take that hit from 2 or 3 Eagles, it looked like he was bent backwards a little bit, and perhaps that's what has him shaken up a little bit. Hopefully he's going to be okay and return back to action.
Can you get the punter's number here for number 12?
That's number 12 for
He's their all-everything kicker, punting and kicking. All right.
Brad Baker, of course, deep for the Eagles.
Low snap again, gets a line drive, short punt out. Baker's going to let it go out of bounds. Inside right about the 36-yard line. So Jacobs at the 36-yard line is 64 yards away from pay dirt.
Well, a lot of time remaining in the second quarter, 11-13 showing on the clock.
Hey, Bill, as I scan the bleachers, this is a late arriving crowd. It's a pretty decent home crowd, which I'm really happy to see in such a horrendous last 9 or 10 days our country has had to go through. And with the tribute out of respect to the family of Coach Cicchino tonight, it's nice to see the Norristown people coming out in support of the Eagles.
Yeah,
First and 10 Norristown. Ryan Blake over the center, back split for the first time tonight. Looks like possible passing formation. It is. It's a little hitch and go. Inside, number 2 with the reception. That's Jake Williams. I like the Eagles receivers. They have good hands.
Yeah, Tom, not only do they have great hands, but they know how to tuck the football and get upfield after they make catches.
Yeah, that was very uncharacteristic of Brad Baker coughing it up, but it's just one of those things that football players always have to be cognizant of players who are coming from behind.
Tom, how smooth was Ryan Blake on that delivery?
Yeah, I tell you, he's got a feathery touch. I've said that. Boy, did he impress me over Villanova that night. Wow. Backs I formation. You know who this is going to. And he's going to try to turn the corner. He can't turn the corner. You know, one thing I've noticed in seeing there's an injured player down for Wissahickon. Could it be 57? Is that 57 or 67?
That's number 67. It's down, Tom.
All right, number 67. That's Eric Busek, a 5'11", linebackers, 165. One thing I noticed, teams are so prepared and afraid to stop the Norristown offensive ground game around to the outside that they haven't really been that successful. Now, most of Jacobs' yards are basically what you saw. A broken tackle here, up the middle, a cutback, 2 cutbacks sometimes. But I think Norristown, and you're more of a football aficionado than I am, Coach, how would you assess Norristown perhaps incorporating something in their offense to allow some maybe misdirection or reverse action to get the outside defenders to commit inside to allow them to turn the corner?
Yeah, well, I think you will see that, Tom, as the game progresses. Coach Grove certainly will mix things up and try to catch this defense off guard. Right now he's playing a little cat and mouse with Wissahickon and trying to set them up for some sort of misdirection. I'm sure that we'll see down the road. Tom, one thing though, as you well know, you talked about Norristown and their running backs and their ability to break the long play. One thing, no matter how good of a coach you are and how well you prepare your teams, such as Wissahickon, I'm sure, was prepared, you can't teach speed. And, that's what we've seen from James Jacobs, just doing amazing, uncoachable things on the football field.
Speed.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to see number 67 get up on his feet.
He gets a nice round of applause from this Norristown crowd.
Sophomore, 5'11". One thing I've observed just looking at the rosters and the starters, Wissahickon has many more underclassmen in their starting line at Norristown. Just looking over their offense and defense, they have one junior on offense. That's a lineman, Joe Kikanawi. If I pronounced that incorrectly, I apologize to Joe and his family. And on defense, Dave Watson, along with Jamal Blackwell, Nick Toto, Jay Arthur. They have 4 guys starters underclassmen. Now Brad had to go high for that, Coach, but he almost came down with it.
Yeah, he sure did. That was a heck of an athletic attempt by Brad Baker on that play. And not an awfully thrown ball by Ryan, just a little bit out of the reach.
But Norristown now is forced to punt. They would have liked to come right back there, gotten the drive going. They're now in a punt formation. I guess Jordan Fazzari will be in, and that's number 2 deep for the Trojans.
Tom, even though the scoreboard doesn't show it, you can definitely feel some sort of momentum swing here on the side of the Norristown Eagles.
Yeah, it seems like a matter of time before they're going to do some. That nice kick by Fazzari. That's a beautiful kick. Inside the 20 to the 17, or actually outside the 15 to about the 12-yard line.
Yeah, that's exactly what Norristown needs.
It's going to be interesting to see the condition of Billy Stout, quarterback for the Trojans, see if he comes out and see if there's any repercussions from that ankle injury or perhaps a more recent injury in that last hit.
Well, Tom, he is coming on the field rather gingerly, I might add. Kind of hobbling onto the field right now.
Yeah, he does not look in great shape, which means probably their offense will probably be restricted, and he'll probably be handing the ball off more, or maybe some more straight dropbacks. Because if you have a bad ankle, it's tough to sprint out that option. And first play was a handoff, so if they have to take his effectiveness out of their offensive repertoire, they're just going to be an ordinary team. Norristown should be able to dominate defensively.
Well, I think what you'll see is probably more of what Wissahickon unfortunately faced in their first couple games of the season when they didn't have
Stout,
the likes of Stout.
Now, I don't think he played. I might be wrong, but I do know he's been injured. We'll check with their staff at halftime and let our audience know exactly the previous game status or involvement of Billy Stout. But right now they're looking at a 2nd and long 8. Stout, a short rollout, cuts it upfield. Didn't have that burst of speed, but made a nice read. Got the ball up to close to the 20-yard line, which is going to bring up a 3rd and relatively short 3rd and 2 called, 3rd and 3.
This will be an interesting call by the Wissahickon coaching staff. 3rd down, and like you said, about 3 yards.
I think what I'd like to do here, and that's why that's why I'm glad I'm not on the field. I send everybody, I throw everybody kitchen sink on a blitz right here. Play man-to-man, the corners on the receivers, and make Stout do something maybe that physically he'd be limited to do.
Well, he's dropped back.
Out, and then they rushed him, and there's no flags, and it will be a sack. And let's see, is that number 40? Blackwell was in initially.
Well, Tom, I think you had the right idea. We did see Stout drop back. Unfortunately for Wissahickon, they had one receiver deep downfield. The other 2 broke off in the flats, and Norristown with outstanding pass coverage that time. Just nowhere for Stout to throw the football.
I think that was number 40 in on that last tackle, Dan Lester.
So now this is going to be a great opportunity for the Eagles with number 1, Brad Baker, standing right on the 50-yard line, ready to receive this ball.
Yeah, he's going to have to come up, though, get it. Oh, he's going to have to go back to get it. And he's going to run across field, cuts up. Excellent coverage by the Trojans punt team there. 10-yard return. They call a 13-yard return to the...
Yeah, Tom, Brad cut that one back. I would have liked to see him go ahead and take that block and try to get to the far side of the football field. Looked like there was a little bit more running room there.
Yeah, I think he had a little speed where he could have even improved his angle to make the turn there, but it's a lot easier up here seeing the field than down there when you got a helmet on and people running at you.
Absolutely.
Eagles 39 yards away from pay dirt with 7:31 remaining in the 2nd period. Motion. Inside handoff to number 32, fullback Jason Thompson. He doesn't carry the ball much, but when he does, he gives it everything he has. Carries it to the 38-yard line, pickup of 11. 1st down, Norristown.
Oh,
Play by Thompson.
That was a heck of a play and a great second effort by Thompson. And like you said, he doesn't get the bulk of the carries, but boy, how convenient to have a fullback that's going to run like that when you give him the ball.
Yeah, center Terry Mulvey, Seth Arnoff, a guard, and Joe Kekanui. Again, if I'm mispronouncing Joe's name, forgive me. But those 3 interior offensive linemen opened a nice hole for Thompson to get through. Nice execution with the direction by James Jacobs. Blake over the center, I formation. Flanker right, handoff inside. Jacobs. You have to hold your breath because before you know it, all of a sudden that number little 22 will be running out of the pile.
Again, good blocking by the Norristown offensive line.
8-yard gain there, too. 8-yard gain. Looked like they should have had him at the line of scrimmage. But he runs low. What's that called when they run low to the ground? Gravity point or whatever? I don't know. I hear some of these
centrifugal force.
Well, I don't think that's it either.
Low center of gravity.
I don't think our audience cares to call into our talk show. There's James Jacobs. See, people want to realize sometimes, they say, well, geez, he looks like he gets pulled back. Well, these are 230-pound players pulling guy. They list him at 150. He's probably 135 soaking wet. So, you know, when he doesn't have full bounce and these guys have a good crack at him, they're going to pull him back. But more times than not, he's going to have the edge on him. Ryan Blake over at the sideline getting the offensive play in from assistant coach offensive coordinator Jack Griffiths along with head coach Roger Grove. Also down there is associate head coach Brian Kennedy. He's self-anointed himself that position. I told him I'd give him that credit on the air.
Well, that's great. Here's the Eagles inside their 20-yard line. They're
knocking on the door. Handoff, right tackle. Oh, look at quick. What a cutback. What a quick cut back to the 10-yard line, Jacobs.
Tom, one thing that comes to mind, and I believe we did mention it last year about James Jacobs, is that when he touches a football, he wants to get in the end zone every time. He has that sense of urgency to just get the ball into the end zone.
That's exactly how you labeled him last year, sense of urgency, and it's a descriptive point that I'm sure would be in agreement by all football experts. And when you have a kid with that mentality, in addition to his speed, in addition to his ability, what a positive aspect that is. Eye backfield once again. Blake handoff, wide open, touchdown. 2 touchdowns. And if you'll recall, Bill, what did I say when Norristown took over possession right here at the 39? I said 39 yards to pay dirt for Jacobs.
And that it was.
With the exception of the 11-yard gain by Jason Thompson, 28 yards on 3-4 carries that time. Norristown now leading 12-7. They may go for 2 here. I would. They have nothing to lose. Get that spread up to 14-7. And there's one of the greatest high school fight songs ever played in District 1. The Norristown High Eagle fight song is known throughout District 1.
Tom, as I stated earlier, even though the scoreboard didn't show it at the time, it certainly does now, but there was a definite feel of momentum swing on the side of the Norristown Eagles. Both teams traded punches, so to speak, for a little bit, but it just seemed as though it was only a matter of time before the Eagles struck again. And now as I peer out into the crowd, Tom, I see exactly what you were talking about. Very respectable crowd tonight at Roosevelt Field, supporting the Norristown Eagles.
Eagles going for 2 here. Back split, Blake over the ball. Drop back. And looked like it could have been interference. Referee is not going to call it. Possibly uncatchable ball. Incomplete. So with 4 minutes, 54 seconds remaining till halftime. The score, the Eagles 12, Wissahickon 7. Let's listen to the Norristown Band. Bill, looks like the Norristown cheerleaders are going to throw the balls up here in the bleachers. I asked one of the girls today if she could reach the press box. She said she could, so if I don't get Tara Spearman to get me a ball up here, she will be in ISS on Monday.
Now, Tom, she seems to be heading in the exact opposite direction.
After the kickoff, Bill, I'll go over the list of the 2001-2002 Eagle cheerleaders. Kicking off will be Jason Fazzari. How about an onside kick here for Norristown? Return the favor. They have confidence up their defense. I just 4:54 to go. They probably want to go in with a short lead. So they'll kick it deep. Fazzari's kick is going to go, taking about the 10-yard line. That looks like number 2 for the Trojans. That's Josh Thompson. Brings it across over the 25-yard line. The cheerleaders for the Norristown Eagles this year, Billy, Captain Tara Spearman, Jasmine Morales, Andrea Harner, the daughter of Norristown lead teacher Steve Harner, Amber Johnson, Ashley McAvoy, Denise Drinkwater, Kristen Burnett, Tamara Stinson, Brandy Zakal, Lisa Melise, Meredith Johnson, Amanda Strigala, Kendall Oliver, Kelly Kavetsky, coaches Miss Morris Rowe and Miss Stillwell, the assistant.
We usually.
Hi, Doc, how are you? Okay, Wissahickon on the first plate, Bill, there. We were greeting Dr. Woodall, our superintendent, and bring up a 2nd and 7 here for Wissahickon.
Well, Wissahickon has 4.5 minutes, Tom, to try to regain the lead, or at least cut into the lead a little bit. First play from scrimmage with a 3-yard gain. And again, I just think the injury to Billy Stout is going to plague Wissahickon throughout this game.
I agree. If he doesn't have his complete mobility, that definitely will be a detriment to the offensive hopes of. And you can see he's limping on the sprint outs now. He's visibly limping on the sprint outs. But I'll tell you, he's showing a lot of guts because he got around the corner, he made the first down.
Oh, absolutely, Tom. Like you said, he's running at about half speed, 3/4 speed, and amazingly enough, he was still able to turn that corner and pick up a first down for the Trojans.
Mm-hmm. Well, Billy, 3:49 to go. Wissahickon now has established excellent field position. They have the ball at their, I guess, their own 42-yard line.
Tom, I think what we're going to see here with 3:49 left is, perhaps even a scripted type offensive run here. Not necessarily a 2-minute drill, but a drill with short time left to try to get the Trojans into the end zone before time expires in the half.
I don't know the timeout situation for Wissahickon. They had a couple injury situations where I don't think they were charged. And your assessment is good here. 2-back split in the backfield, though. They're going to try to protect him on the sprint outs. It's going to limit their open receivers. They're going to put more pressure on him to run the ball. There's an inside handoff tackle to the 45-yard line. I think his knee was down. The referee is pointing. It's going to be a 2nd down and 7, I believe.
Brad Baker in on the stop for Andrew Kemp.
Well, Tom, I got to give some credit to the Wissahickon backs. We talk about James Jacobs and our Norristown backs, but these Wissahickon backs are showing a lot of tenacity also running the football.
Stout again, back split, flanker left. Norristown in 52. Defense. Stout being rushed. I don't think he's going to get away. And he's going to have to eat the ball. Once again, sophomore Blackwell. Jamar Blackwell, sophomore defensive end. He's having quite a night for himself. And
well, like you stated earlier, Tom, Coach Grove, if he's going to start a sophomore, he's going to be there for a reason. And Jamal Blackwell has certainly proven that he is capable of playing with these juniors and seniors, that's for sure.
Stout sprinting right, looking downfield, doesn't see it. Receivers, let's go. It's intercepted and should get out of bounds to stop the clock. And if that was number 17, I believe.
That was Dave Watson, number 17, a junior for the free safety for the Eagles.
All right, now, this is where the Eagles, they could really put a dagger into the spirits of the Trojans if they could somehow mount a scoring drive in the last 2 minutes. And when you're the better team, Bill, when you're the better team, you have to try to go for broke here.
Oh, without a doubt. Norristown with 2:16 left on the clock. They want to put this ball in the end zone.
Blake the pitch. Jacobs cuts back right, cuts back left. The play's going to consume a lot of time and it went nowhere. You have to understand when Jacobs is in the backfield, Bill, the defense is going to be there to key on him. This is where you might want to use him as a decoy like they did on that quick inside counter handoff to Thompson, or throw the ball. There's an eagle down on the play. That's Jacobs. I wouldn't get too alarmed. Last week he must have been down at least a dozen times. He has serious cramping. He has such tight musculature formation, and he's a compact body, and his muscles tighten up and cramp, and it's very painful, and it temporarily debilitates you. It's a matter of drinking a lot of fluids during the day to help that. But of course, when you're in school, you could get a drink maybe in between classes, drink some things at lunch. Today he was very pensive in the cafeteria. He was very, very serious, as were most of the football players, and they knew that this was going to be a big night for them, honoring Coach Cicchino and then having to think about playing the game.
Well, with Jacobs out of the game, I think for sure we'll see a pass here from 17 Ryan Blake.
Well, you would hope so. And
I'm sorry, 13.
And look at that on the money. That's
Oh.
on the money. Maybe a little underthrown, but effortless release and good accuracy. Wissahickon's got some pretty quick corners.
Now, that was number 4 for Wissahickon, Sean McGonigal, the defensive back. Did have great coverage on that play. He did not see the football. It hit him in the back of the helmet, but you know, to his credit, he was where he needed to be to make a play.
I think Norristown's passing game will even get better as season progresses. They probably don't have their whole package in now because primarily they concentrate on getting the ball to Jacobs. But situations like this, you'd hope they have a play in there that maybe Wissahickon hasn't seen yet, a pass play that could create a 10-yard gain, allow them to retain possession.
Well, Tom, that was a big hit.
That sure was.
By number 3 for Wissahickon.
Yeah, he came in untouched.
Billy Stout.
I don't think Blake will take the offensive line out to dinner on that play because they came in untouched.
And we've seen
Stout on the,
yeah, that was Stout. We've seen his presence on the offensive side of the ball, and right there he's shown that he's a heck of a defensive player as well.
All right, Bill, let me ask you a question. The kid's obviously not 100%. He's obviously their whole offense. Why in the name of good sense would a coach put him out there to play defense? Now, I see he did leave the game here up, but he's coming back. He's also going over to get the signals. Every step he takes is going to make him less effective as the game progresses. You would think giving him a little rest, elevate the leg on the sidelines, put a little ice on it, whatever rest he can. I don't understand it, but you know what? Football coaches are a little different mentality than you know, basketball coaches, I guess. I have a kid limping like that, and of course the nature of the game's different too. I would rest him. I would just rest him. Okay, Fazarian punt formation with the sack. The Eagles force the punt. Wissahickon's going to get the ball back with well over a minute to go. And if they get any kind of run back, they might have decent field position or a poor punt, which it was. Poor punt gives the Trojans the ball at their own 40, 60 yards away from the end zone. Appears to be a decent field goal kicker. And let's see what happens, Bill. I don't know how many timeouts they have.
Hey, I'm not sure either, Tom.
Right.
We just got word they have one timeout left. You know, I spoke with about three and a half minutes left and said that we may see some sort of continuity offense from Wissahickon. Now, I'm sure with a minute 23, you know, they also, like the Eagles, are going to want to try to get in the end zone and regain the lead, Tom. They're down a mere 5 points.
Official calling the chains. I don't know if they were set properly. So the side judge is over there trying to situate sticks.
As I was stating, Wissahickon down only 5 points. what a boost for them it could be if they could somehow manage to find their way into the end zone before the half.
I don't know what the delay is. Perhaps a chain link might have dislodged itself from one of the yardsticks in the far side of the field. I see Miles Burrell, the all-purpose, all-do-everything employee of the Norristown School District. I believe that is Miles over there, isn't it? Well, if it's not Miles, you just got some publicity on Norristown TV. So with 1:23 remaining until halftime, we're in a delay, and it looks like we're ready to resume action. Let's see what Wissahickon does. They see if they look to score, they're content to go in down 5.
Trips left on that play.
And a hobbling sprint out by Stout completes his pass. Clock will stop on the first down. Clock will stop. They reset it. It looks like he's rolling out slow motion. Looks like the receivers are running their pattern slow motion, but they're open. I don't understand it. I think Norristown's got to go after the quarterback.
Clock ticking with 1:08.
Official there, looks like it's good. To the Norristown 40, pickup of 8.5. Stout 2 for 2.
Well, Tom, at this point,
Wissahickon just called their final timeout with 56 seconds remaining.
At this point, with like you said, just under a minute left, Norristown is in somewhat of a prevent defense. So you're going to see the Eagle defense giving up 7, 8-yard completions underneath. They just don't want to give up the long one right now. And you know, sometimes, unfortunately, when you're in a prevent defense, it doesn't prevent anything.
Right, a lot of opportunity opens up underneath the deep coverage. I ask everyone at the conclusion of the first half, before we sign off for our halftime break, we'll be honored to have the superintendent of schools, Dr. Michael Woodall, superintendent of Norristown School District, share a few thoughts with us. So that will be before we sign off for our short halftime break.
It certainly is great to see Dr. Woodall here tonight.
Well, Norristown School District gets great support from their administration, the principals, certainly the school board, Mary Custer and Nancy Hunley, former school board member, very loyal fans of all the sports, boys and girls. And they're Stout, a little bit of a dangerous play, a little bit of a dangerous pass there on the flat. That was maybe an inch or two away, being intercepted and run back for a Norristown touchdown. But getting back to the support of the administration and school board members, you know, that has an impression on the young people that are playing, and they get to know the people, and these administrators and board members get to know the kids, and that's a positive approach and a positive thing for the total educational process. All right, that looks like they're going to be short of the first down.
No, Tom, that's definitely a first down.
He got the first down, but they have to hurry up now. Only 45 seconds remaining until halftime.
And I tell you, that's a smart play by
well, yeah, the clock stops. They got the short first down. They should have been up on the line of scrimmage, though. They're waiting for the play to come in. This is inexcusable. The coach should have a player up and in that huddle, running their 2-minute offense. They just lost 12 seconds. That's great for Norristown, though. I felt like John Madden there, Bill.
You kind of resembled him, Tom. 25 seconds.
All right, Stout, there's a flag down. That's usually holding when it's that deep in the backfield. Stout running to get out of bounds, cannot. Clock is going to continue to run. If it's an offensive penalty, the clock won't stop, or it'll start up right away. If it's a defensive penalty, it will stop. It's in the area of holding. What do you think, Bill?
I agree. Anytime you see a flag in that area, it is generally a hold or...
It's going to be an offensive. Norristown should, well, actually, they should refuse the penalty and let the clock keep running. 14 seconds. by taking the penalty, if I'm not mistaken now, right, Skeets? We have Skeets Miller, a long-time official. Does the clock start up right away, or do they get to snap it before it starts? Mr. Miller. It runs, okay. Okay. 9 seconds, clock is running. Wissahickon probably will not get a snap off. And their game management the last minute has not been very good.
Yeah, Tom, that's unfortunate for Wissahickon, but like you said, very fortunate for the Eagles that Wissahickon doesn't even get a play off in the half.
That's the end of the first half with the score, Norristown 12, Wissahickon 7.
Tom, if you're the Wissahickon coaching staff, you have to be pleased with the way your team has performed so far. Being down only 5 points to the Norristown Eagles, who are 3-0, you know, that's definitely something that you can take into the locker room and talk to your kids about and motivate them to come out strong in the second half. And you know, they're 5 points away from playing this very good Norristown team even. On the other end of the coin, the Norristown Eagles, you know, perhaps as you said earlier, with all the motion going on with tonight's events, perhaps a little drained physically and emotionally. Their coaching staff will go in at the half and regroup and address some of the problems that they've had, stopping particularly the quarterback, Billy Stout.